I'm Mary Bowen, and I'm here to tell you about why I'm here. It's about these straps. And so I was beginning to find more things to do with the Cadillac, with these straps. And I was at that time studying with Kathy Grant in the 1980s. And I just mentioned them. And she said, would he make me a pair of straps, do you think? I said, well, I'll ask him, Kathy. And he said, sure, I'll make Kathy a pair of straps. And she was right in the throw of things, so she just incorporated straps into everything she did with people. And it wasn't even known where they came from. So it was only this year when I was at Wendy's doing a presentation with Wendy Arbuckle. We were co-teaching down in North Carolina. She said, you were the originator of the straps? She said, I never knew that. And at the end of the weekend, she said, the most astonishing thing to me was that you were the creator of the straps. So I said, Alec, we better just say something, and let's just feature the straps. At this moment, we're going to be introducing moves. We're using straps of various sizes on the Cadillac, and then we're also going to be using egg balls of 2 different sizes, depending on the size of the person that you're going to put on it. But either one is useful in any of the things I'm going to show you. So we'll begin then. So I would start each day, before I do any exercising, I hold these straps and I let the spine fully down on the roller, and right in the beginning of the day, you'll find, I've already done it, so there are no cracks, but there will be cracks every day for me, and that means your spine now is much more fit for the day. And a number of times you could do that, but these you could do. If people use this, they use it without it. But you don't have the same freedom as when you're able to drop into it through some reach up with your arms. Oppositional energy is always better. It uses the whole body better. So I start in with that. Now, anybody coming to the Cadillac, they're going to want, I can be talking to you just this way. If I'm talking to you this way, I'm sitting a lot better. If you're using your arms to let your spine lengthen, and they're just helpful. And for people to mount and dismount, these are helpful. It gives them grips. And anybody, you don't know what age person you're going to have, and they will be very grateful to have a handhold here, rather than just have to, some of them don't even have the energy to sit up properly. This is an egg ball on the Cadillac that gives you total arm freedom and long drops of the spine into release or into gravity, which I found was what the body had just been waiting for. Most people would sit up from the head and shoulders. No, we're doing it now from the bottom of the spine to the middle of the spine. So the spine is really in charge. Now if we're going up, it's the ribs are out of the hips, and the shoulders are at ease, the head is at ease. When you come back, again from the pelvis, not from the head and shoulders. And then you can, this is just using the tower. That would be what you would be doing if you were sitting down and not on an egg ball, but you wouldn't have anywhere near the depth of the stretch or the depth of the release. So then, when these straps came into my life, you can go a little farther back, which feels even better. And you wait a bit to see where the body, what message it's sending you. If I put in a yawn, notice something that I'll go farther after the yawn. Every yawn will release more space. It isn't any of the bones changing, it's the release, enlarging. So I can go to an even deeper strap, and you're letting the spine lead you, and the stabilization is with the arms and hands. Now I'm deeper, getting more into tight fascia, tight tissue, especially around the QL. That one, you want to stay. You don't want to just show. Having done the tower bar, the shorter strap, the next shorter strap, now we're going on to the longer strap. And you might want to double up on it this way, or some people will double up on it this way. So they will come to the handhold and just go as far as the arms allow you. And what's in control here are your biceps and your arms. Everything else is in gravity drop. Your spine is in drop. Now I'll go to this handhold and this one. Now it's all bicep. And this is in your own timing. You can just check what's happening with the low back. Check what's releasing. Don't go so fast that you don't notice anything, because a lot drops. It cannot drop without this free fall into gravity. So now if I just let it fall all the way, I can be sitting. Next, I would like to show lateral. Those were all vertical, straight and back. And now, maybe we're the tightest really in the ribs coming out of the hips, where the QL is usually tight, especially on one side. So first, just take a twist from the tower. See what that is. And if you have your hands, it depends on if your knuckles are one way, your shoulder is freer than this way. So you learn these things. You want to have the upper body very free. So there's just the ball with the tower, Joe's equipment. Now I'll take a strap, and you see the distance I can go because of the different where my hand is. So now that's another kind of stretch. It's hitting deeper places, then an even deeper one. I'm now really into some tough tissue around the hip itself, around the hip crest. So, you know, every time you do it, you'll be feeling tension somewhere. So that, in this case, you can also get into the hip joint. You can do it straight, or you can do it off at this diagonal. Now, you notice that I'm pretty far off. This ball is not going to leave the table. That's the reason for using an egg ball. There's no fear that you're going to be on the floor all of a sudden, unplanned, because of the width of this ball. So it's just obvious that the egg ball is the better ball for this. So now, if I want even a deeper stretch, I can release the leg, and that's more like a whole body, the whole length of the lateral side. And it's easy to come back. Your hands are in charge. There's not much, there's nothing to fear. Some people are afraid to be on a ball at all. Okay, now you would do the same thing. You would do the same thing on the other side, but you always do both. Now, if you're going to want to have an upper stretch of the lats, you want this far up, and you want this, maybe you can have it here. You could, if you have long arms, do it right from the bar. And you could also twist the bar a little, and you're in between, and you can find where the body is most released in the shoulders and neck and head, and most stretched up in the lats. There aren't very many exercises in Pilates that give you free release of lats. Maybe stretches to the side, but this one is just passive. And that's quite interesting. You want to always stay a little with each stretch, breathe into it, find out where the body is in it. Don't just do a stretch. Do it to explore your body. And then always put a yawn in if you want to go the greatest distance, because that's your biggest release. Now you have another one going back that you can do First, you see, you don't get too far with just the bar. But now, let's see what it's like if we're opening the hip and we're going to go straight back. You'll be a little off to the side of the leg that you're lifting. But what's it like at the hamstring sit bone? You know, starting out, it'll be very maybe tight. Quickly it releases because this is a gravity drop. There's nothing you're having to hold there. The whole thing is about release. Now, the two sides will be very different. Even where you're tight will be different. I'm coming in to sitting on it like a horse. Okay, and you can be here, or you can be here, or you can be here, but it was for the adductors. And I thought, whoa, that's a good stretch all around the knees where you get too tight. And if you're too tight too long there, you can have kneecap problems. Here were these straps, and I never thought of this. And this person was having difficulty with opening. She had shoulder difficulty. And even if I put her way out on the headrest, it was better to have her more on the table and use these handholds. And then if you're going to give shift, she can go to the straight leg and she can go up. She's not bothering her minor pecs or her shoulder girdle. And by the pull of the arms, she can do a modified tower there. And that was something I hadn't thought of for the straps. But you'll think of all kinds of things if you have these available. And we're just going to let ourselves back with the long straps here, which allow the whole spine to go on its own time onto the table. Now, you're going to do two things. You're going to have to get rid of your legs and you have to let go of the straps. So this is an original Joe Cadillac where you can straddle this. And that's what he meant. It should be akin to the human body. You can't straddle something if it's 33 inches wide necessarily. So you might have to have your feet up here or do something else. But this is fine with the original Cadillac. So I let that go. Now, it's just myself and this little ball. And this just happened, it turned out to be a wonderful thing. Like a child, you just hug this little ball, it goes right into your solar plexus. And you just let your arms, your head go. And that's a rest. The head's not working, the neck, the shoulders not working. Sometimes you could put something under your feet to know where your soles of the feet are, but when you want to just make sure you go both cheeks so you don't only give to one side of you. And men, women, anybody loves this experience. I can't tell you how comforting it is. You just have to try it. And one big burly man was first time like this at the end of these stretches. And I had to put my hands on his shoulders and say, you can let go. And I'll never forget what he said. This is very good. And it is. I hope you'll try it. Remember that this is not all set. This is self-exploration. Remember that for yourself. For me, it all happened to satisfy a need of my own body. And I found release and relief in a way in free drops into gravity and long spinal fascial drops that I was not getting any other way. And lots of varieties of parts of the body that could be given the relief they needed. I could do some on a ladder, but this lets you do the whole range of motion. And I think you'll find it's wonderful. There's nothing written in stone about any of these stretches or these straps. This is an exploratory process. And you'll do your own thing, you'll make up your own thing, and that's the fun of it. But these things are standard things that I know work and we need, and that's why I'm just showing you a bit of it. The rest is the fun you would have with it. And you'd make up your own things. You can make it up on any posture of your body. The Cadillac can do the whole body in any posture. It's the most versatile piece of equipment. This just makes it more versatile and more fun for you and more useful.